So today I'm going to be showing you how to make the pleated skirt that I showed you guys in my last video, this one right here. Well, that's the back and that's the front. And I was really overwhelmed by the amount of people who actually wanted me to make this skirt, and I'm really excited as well. So what I've done today is I've actually filmed the whole process behind making it, but this time I made a really lovely indigo blue one, and I actually made this one for my lovely sister. Blue's her favourite colour, and she really wanted a nice maxi skirt. So the only difference between this one and this one is that this one's a maxi, so this goes all the way to the ankle, and the other one is a midi, so it just grazes the knee. It's a very, very simple skirt, and seeing as loads of the high street stores like Topshop, Zara, even ASOS online are selling them, and they're selling them at £40, £50, £55. This is just such a simple way to get that skirt, and it's also affordable as well. Now, in terms of fabric, you can actually go into any fabric store and pick up fabric that you want to use. You can also use different types of fabric. It doesn't have to be chiffon like I'm using today. It can be tartan, it can be cotton, linen, any material that you really want to use. I just chose chiffon because that's my favourite material. What else do I have to say? Oh yeah, this is my first ever DIY video. Never done a DIY video before, never done a DIY post, but I do little alterations, and I mess around with some stuff behind the lens if you like. This is my first time of showing it to you guys. I do try my best to show you all the steps and to explain everything as best as I can, but please bear in mind that I'm not an expert. I'm not a seamstress, I'm not a designer, I'm not a tailor. I only do stuff that works for me, and if I like it, I show you guys. And this is just one of those things I want to show you guys because I think it worked for me, and hopefully it would work for someone out there. What else do I have to say? I just feel like I have so much to say. Oh yes, I'm going to put so much information in the information bar, so if you can please expand it. You're going to find all the stuff that I use, and you're going to find the make and model of the sewing machine that I used. Also, bear in mind that you don't actually have to have a sewing machine to do this. The first skirt I sewed everything by hand. I recently invested in a sewing machine because I want to make more clothes for myself this summer, and I think, I don't know, I just always wanted one anyway. So yeah, I put all the information, everything I used, the make and model of the sewing machine, and am I missing anything? Don't hesitate to ask me a question if you really want to find out something. Leave a comment below and I would try my best to answer it. Yeah, tell your friends about this video, your mom, your auntie, and go and try and make yourself a skirt. So, until next time, bye. Okay, so here's the fabric I'm using. The fabric I'm using is a really nice mix between chiffon and silk, and it's really nice deep indigo blue. And my sister actually picked up this colour. She wants me to make this skirt for her, so that's what I'm going to do. I think it's 2 meters wide and about 1.75 meters long. First of all, you want to get a measuring tape like this one, and you want to measure how long you want your skirt to be. If you want a maxi skirt, you should measure from your waist all the way down to your ankle. And if you want a midi skirt, this all depends on how midi you want it. So if you want it skimming the knees, or just below the knee, or just above the knee, if you want a mini skirt, you can. So it's all up to you. Just measure how long you want it. Now I'm making a maxi skirt, and this skirt is just long enough for me, for my height, and my sister and we are the same height, so I'm just going to make it based on my height, well, the length of from my waist to my ankles. And so yeah, let's just get on with it. Sort of figure out how wide you want your pleats. I would say for the type of skirt I'm going for, It's about 4 centimeters wide. You can make it shorter, you can make it longer, it all depends on how you want to. So I've just measured 4 centimeters, so I have like a rough idea of how much material to fold. So all I'm going to do is just take my hands and fold it over. If it folds over, please fold over the pleats thinner. You can have them as wide as you want if you want. So running that over. And now I'm just going to fold it backwards on itself. Let's bring that forward a bit, like so. And then using the concept of folding paper fans, I don't know if you guys ever folded paper fans, but back in school we used to fold them and like make little fans and stuff. Yeah, the girls used to make fans and the boys made paper planes. That was really strange. But yeah, so you're just going to fold it back on itself, but then you're going to make sure that you're folding it using that width that you already measured, so that 3 centimeter width in my case. Like so. Just fold it, and then you're just going to iron it like you did the first pleat, and that would be your second pleat. Just hold that down. We'll fold this back on itself again. To where you started off, and then you're going to fold it again, but then making sure that that 3 centimeter width is maintained, and then you're just going to iron the third pleat in. And it's so simple, you just follow this process until you get to the end of the skirt, and that's it, you have your pleats in your skirt. So I'm just going to do that now. So I have my third pleat in. Just make sure that you iron all the way to the end of both sides. Okay, so I started pleating the skirt last night, and I've just finished pleating it, and your skirt should look something like this, like a folded paper fan. And when I lift this up, you're going to see the pleats in the skirt. I hope that the camera's picking this up. So basically the skirt is now pleated, and we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to actually sew this part of the skirt where it's going to sit on the waist, and where our elastic is going to go through. What you have to do is you have to take one of the long ends of the skirt, so either, I'm going to take this side, and what you have to do is you have to fold it. Actually no, this is the outside of the skirt, so I should really turn it around. Make sure that you're folding it on the inside of the skirt, so where you want the inside of the skirt to be. So this is the inside of the skirt and this is the outside of the skirt. And you're going to take one of the long ends and you're going to fold it like so. So this is about, let's measure that. So you're going to fold it 4 centimeters in, so that width right there is 4 centimeters, and you're going to iron from this end all the way to the other end, just so we can keep it in place. So I'm taking my iron and just ironing that down just to make sure it's all nice and crisp and folded, so when it comes to sewing, just becomes a little bit easier. Okay, now you're going to take some pins, and these are the ones with the little balls on the top, these ones, and you're just going to tack the bit that you just folded, and you want to tack 3 centimeters in around where you're going to actually sew. I'm going to start from this end and I'm going to work my way all the way to the other end. Okay, so now that you've got your fabric pinned, folded and pinned, you're going to use a sewing machine or a thread and needle, and you're going to sew right along from the top right through to the other side of the material. Just make sure that you've left a bit of space for the elastic to go through, so maybe about 2.5 to 3 centimeters, and you can just sew a centimeter from the edge inwards. So now everything's been sewn right from this end to the other end. This is what it should look like. So you've got your the bit that you've left on the inside where you can put your elastic, and the elastic is just going to be driven through there using a bobby pin. But before we do that, we have to sew the bottom of the skirt just to prevent fraying. So I'm going to repeat the exact same process I've just done here, except I'm going to fold it a lot, the width is going to be shorter than the 4 centimeters that I did, or the 3 centimeters, I can't remember. So it's going to be similar to this, but then it's going to be sewn along here. So it'll be folded like that. So it's only about 1 centimeter. I hope you understand that. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be right back to show you how you can put the elastic on the waist. So you're going to take your elastic, and you're going to take it around your waist. I usually like my skirts to come up right here, so just going to measure based on that. So this is how I want the skirt. Just going to hold that right there, and then I'm going to cut it. So this is how long I'm going to use. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to have to take your elastic, one of the ends, and then make a little hole on the inside. Now I used my scissors and I just cut a little tiny hole, and then you're going to take a bobby pin and you're going to put the bobby pin through that hole. So it should look something like that, and this is what you're going to use to drive into the waist part of the skirt. So you get your skirt, figure out the waist bit. Okay, here's the waist part, and find the ends. So here's the end, and then you're going to take your bobby pin and you're just going to use that and get the elastic through the skirt, and just gather the material as you go through. Hope you can see this. I'm going to try my best. So that's just going in. So that's all it is. Just use that motion and then just drive the material through like that. Okay, so the elastic is into the waist part, and what I've done is I've just gathered the material around the along the elastic, and this is what it looks like. So the skirt is nearly done. This is what from this side and then that side, and I've just pinned the elastic to the material on that side and on this side. And I've just had an idea, and I actually want the skirt to have a slit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take the sides of the skirt, so from here down to here, and I'm going to sew this, but then inwards. So just make sure that you're sewing inwards. So I'm going to fold this, and I'm going to sew it right from the top all the way down to the bottom, and then I'm going to do that, the exact same thing on the other side, inwards, and sew it, and I'll be right back. Now you're going to take the two ends of the elastic and you're going to overlap them like so, and then you're going to stitch it. You can use one of those zigzag stitches, or you can continue using your straight stitch, or if you're using a thread and needle you can just stitch it normally. And I'm going to do that. I know it looks a bit messy, but you don't have to worry, that's going to go on the inside of the skirt anyway. Now the skirt is pretty much finished. You've just got to do to sew the sides, and I decided I wanted a slit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew from the waist and maybe a couple of inches down here, so the slit would come maybe down to my knee area. And you just have to make sure that when you are sewing this, it's inside out, so that any stitching would be on the inside of the skirt and not the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch this right from the elastic down to maybe where my knee is. And that's the skirt. It's actually finished, and here's the back. That's the stitching on the back, and that's the little slit. And you should stay tuned. I'm going to show you the many different ways of how you can actually style the skirt, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.